Hey there, Ruben here. This is for techattech.my, giving you a first look of the Proton Suprima S's Android dashboard console, also known as the Infotainment system by Proton. So I'm recording now with flash because it's raining outside and it's a bit dark in here. So we're gonna just run through the hardware exterior first. So first of all, we're gonna just go down right here. We have an auxiliary port, USB port, and then the power socket for external power. Oh, by the way, the USB port actually charges your devices, like your smartphone, but it's also a USB port, right? So it reads data off of it. So we're gonna try that a little later. So now the engine is turned on, so it will display the clock by default. So, but if the engine is off, it will take about 10 to 15 seconds to boot up. So this is the volume knob. It also acts as the power. So when you press it, it will turn on. And since it's running Android, you have the standard buttons: back, menu, home, and the Navi key. So the Navi key will launch a dedicated Maps app called Loca2. It's by Amtel Cellular, a local Malaysian company. However, when you press it, it will give you a FC, a forced close. That is because the map data is offline. So upon purchasing the ride, they will give you an SD card with the map data, which you can put in right here. The regular size SD card. But over here you have a smaller micro SD card, which you can put videos and songs and whatnot. It's covered by a flap. So we're gonna run through these settings. On the home screen, you have same as the standby screen. You have the date, the time, and the Bluetooth indicator. You can't select any of it. It's just to show you. So now the Bluetooth is always on because it's in a car. We don't need to save battery. This is also just an indicator. Nothing happens. So these four buttons are anchored. You cannot remove or add them. Bluetooth to pair with your phones, obviously. Media is to access media via USB, which we have inserted down here. Disc above here. It plays DVD too, by the way. SD card over here. So now, a thing about playing videos is when the car is moving, it won't play. You have to park the car and you have to pull the handbrake for it to work. So now that I have the USB inserted, we're gonna just run through a few things. So I put three types of music files. One is MP3, and then this whole folder is actually FLAC. That's a free lossless audio codec, and also AAC. So it doesn't show the AAC file here. That's because it can't play it. And also the whole folder with FLAC is not detected, so it can only play MP3 files, unfortunately. So while the music is playing, you can actually go back if you want, like to go home, and you can access the equalizer here. You can increase the bass if you want, treble, and these are preset equalizers if you want. Now this is the fader thing, where when you press this part, you can select where the audio is stronger. I'm not sure if you can see the arrow. There you go. So I can increase the audio to the right if I want. Just gonna put it back. So that's playing music. So now let's move on to video. So the video button is right here. It plays, I only loaded 3 videos, AVI, MP4, and MKV, and it plays all of them, which is good. So this is an MKV file. So when you're playing a video, pressing back will bring you back to the main screen, which is not good. But if you want to pick the file again, instead you have to double tap on it to bring up the controls. You can scrub pause if you want, and to look at the file again. So this is AVI. Just want to show you that it actually plays. So AVI plays, no problem. And MP4, come on. Right? So now, the problem with the resistive screen is not... resistive is good because when you touch on things lightly, it doesn't really register. You have to press real hard. But the problem with having a resistive screen is because on Android needs a lot of scrolling. So when you're scrolling on a resistive screen, it keeps selecting things that you don't want, like this. So I wanted to scroll down, but it actually picks up something on the menu, which I don't want to do. So that's the problem with resistive screen. Okay, moving on. So now for radio. Radio is your standard affair thing. You can press this, I think, travel store. It will scan through all of the channel and pick the frequency that has music in it. Right? And it will load them up over here on the left, which you can jump to later. And surprisingly, it only has 6. I mean, come on, it's Android. We should at least have more than 6 presets. I'm trying to figure out what this one is, this RSS button. I'll find that one out later, no problem. And this is the menu button for you to change other settings. Anyway, radio is boring. So moving on to other things. So we already covered this tree. So there's only one thing left, which is the app drawer. Because navigation doesn't work. Again, we need the map data on the SD card. So this settings will only bring up the settings button. So now the app drawer we have. This is running on like a modified version of AOSP, right? So it's not even gingerbread, I don't think, because if I were to go to settings and go to here, it says version 7, but from the display, it's obvious that it's either in Froyo or gingerbread, or maybe earlier like Eclair, but I can't figure out what version it is yet. Nope. But it says version 2. I'm not sure if this is related to the Android version, because if it is, this is actually Eclair. I don't know. I'll try to find out more about this. Okay, going back. So now, being Android, the display brightness can be adjusted, right? So if you think the display is too dim under bright sunlight, you can adjust it here. Anyway, this is a matte display, so it won't be as glossy and reflexive as the glossy ones. And upon purchasing the car, you get the huddle from Yes 4G WiMAX. It's a free 1-year subscription, so it's not integrated to the car. You get the huddle in a separate package. So basically, you just put the huddle somewhere, and from here you can connect to the Wi-Fi. So now that we're connected to Wi-Fi, we can actually use it to browse the web and all that stuff, like so. So I have Tech preloaded here. It's okay, I guess, if you want to just search something. And again, all the internet connection only works when your car is stopped, so you cannot use it when you're driving too. The handbrake has to be pulled. Right. So other apps include a calculator, a PDF viewer. I don't know why you need that. Auxiliary is similar to media, the media option in the home screen, but this is for the aux jack. So if you want to go the manual route, you plug it in that way. And this is Bluetooth. I'm gonna do a demo real quick in just a bit, but for now we're gonna move on. We're not gonna try DVD because that's boring. Media, we've done that. Media player, we've done that. Navigation, and yeah, that's about it. It's tuner's radio. So we pretty much cover everything, especially the media playback. For the internet, we only have the browser. We cannot sideload apps, nope. And for media playback, you can accept cards, USB down here, and also auxiliary, and of course DVD. And they keep mentioning YouTube playback. That is only on the browser, I think. So to close off, we're gonna just do a quick search. Of YouTube. Bear with me. It's a bit hard to type with one finger. Now there's one thing I want to gripe about on the display is that it's resistive, fine, but it is also not aligned. So for instance, if I were to type on something, I'm gonna show you in just a bit. What the hell, I'm gonna show you now. So if I want to type on something, let's say G, so I press it directly here, it sometimes doesn't register G. I have to press a little lower. So for example, my finger is a little bit above G right now, but when I press it, it selects T instead. And I can't calibrate the screen too, so that's a bit of a problem. But once you get used to it, it should be fine, I hope. So now going to YouTube, I'm gonna play something random. Let's see if that works. Holy crap, it works. I think. Is it working? No? Let's try something else. The gas is also running low, so it's gonna stop at any time. Come on. It does. Good stuff. So after this, we're gonna just cut the video and continue back later by playing Bluetooth. So I'm gonna play it on the phone and stream that audio through Bluetooth to the device. Right? Be right back. Alright, we're back, and here's what happened. So the iPhone, when it's paired with the car, it doesn't play to the car's speaker. It plays back on the iPhone itself. So it worked before on the HTC One, so I want to try it again. And then what happened is the phone hung, and it took about 10 minutes to reboot several times into safe mode, back into normal mode. Now it's in normal mode. It has 4% battery left and no 3G, so I cannot demo the video. Spoke too soon. What the hell, let's do this. I hate this phone. I mean, it's a nice Android phone, one of the best, but it hung sometimes. To be fair, the S4 does that too. So let's do this. So now, Bluetooth, we have to pair it first. Let's hope this works. Pair. Let's pick this one. So now that it's paired, let's play back something. Pick. Oh, sorry about the camera. as usual, when you're doing a live demo, nothing works. And I got 3% battery life, damn it. Ooh, do you hear that? Alright. So now, you see, when it's paired, so now I can actually control the volume here, but the response is a bit slow. So if you crank up the volume, it takes about 2 seconds, 3 seconds for it to reflect. But you can actually control it from here if you want. Or using the knob. Like that. Alright, I guess that's it. It took a while, but it worked eventually. And here's the first look of the Android dashboard console for Proton Suprima S. Thanks for watching.